afternoon to one and all present here. Honorable Director Sir, our chief guest for this afternoon, Mr. Mahesh Konkar, Director of Direction 1, all the faculty colleagues, and my dear wonderful students. It's my proud privilege to welcome all of you for this insightful session on Kickstart Your Career for driving business growth. I think the most important thing that we emphasize on at SRBS is the fact that we would like to bridge the gap between academia and the industry. So bridging academics with industry insights, we believe, is one of the most important areas which will shape the future entrepreneurs as well as managers to take on the reins of India Incorporated. We know that our students need to blend both the worlds together to be able to evolve as future leaders. Today, we are extremely proud to have with us a veteran speaker, an enthusiast who is always willing to give his best to the younger generation of managers, entrepreneurs. I would say a person with an experience par excellence, not just his academic background, but the way he has interacted and turned around most of the corporates who are now heading the industry. I think we are privileged to have Mr. Mahesh Konkar with us this afternoon to spend his time, his valuable time with all of us. Very warm round of applause. Let us welcome Mr. Mahesh Konkar.
All right, I'll just shift there. Okay, hi. All right. How many marketing people over here? All right. How many restaurant finance? Okay, HR also. How many HR? All right, good. Okay. So I got about an hour. I wanted to give you perspectives on how you can grow, prepare yourself for a career. All right. And you must always be comparing yourself to the Verikers and the SP Jains and the IIMs of the world. So I actually wanted to give a perspective on that. A little background about me. I am one of those people who has started off from a tier 2 engineering college and then went on to a tier 1 college. So Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, those of you who are familiar with it, we operate from a place called Upper Indiranagar in Bibwewadi. I don't know if you've heard of the place. How many of you from Pune here? Everyone? Okay, good. Right. So I'm one of those people who, I am from DPS Arkepuram, and I want to share with you the story of how this growth happened. So what happened was that when I was trying for the IIT JEE entrance, found it extremely difficult. And out of my batch of about 500 students from DPS Arkepuram, 12th, I believe about 200 would have got into IIT. And I was one of those remaining 300 who didn't make it. And after that I came to VIT in Pune. My father was in a job in Delhi, and he shifted to Pune and he started a business. And when I went into engineering in Pune, I kind of felt that I'm in this college, but I could have done much better. And moved on to take the common admission test, flunked it twice. And got it into IIM Bangalore on the third attempt. All right, and subsequently we have done work with some of the biggest companies in the country. So I want to share with you the perspectives with which we have equipped ourselves with the skills despite not having a very strong academic background till graduation. Alright, till graduation. And this is just another 2 years further that some of you are facing these challenges. Alright. Okay, now what is happening in the industry right now? There is a whole lot of charcha, Ranveer Alapadia is taking up a lot of our airtime nowadays. And before that, Mr. Subramaniam from L&T took a lot of our time. And Narayan Murthy before that took up a lot of our time. Okay. Let me tell you, in engineering, we call this signal to noise ratio. Okay? There is a whole lot of noise in the market right now. Right? And it is very easy for all of us also to get distracted by what is happening out there and lose our focus on what is critically important. So I did my summer training in Citibank. I joined ITC from campus. Subsequently, I am assisting Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, Legrand Electricals and many other companies in their sales and marketing efforts. I'm right now rolling out a series of workshops for SBI's chief managers, people who are hardcore finance oriented. Alright? And I'm going to share with you what are the skills that is enabling them to do so well in the industry right now. Alright? India is at a very, very interesting time right now in terms of growth. Alright? So I'm going to start with a marketing example and then we'll shift on to a finance example and eventually boil it down to what are the skill sets that everybody is required to do. Towards the end of the session, we will take questions, of course. Feel free to ask, make a note of whatever you want to ask and then we'll take it further. Alright. So this is what we're going to talk about, right? This is the kind of work that we've done with companies. I'll skip this. Alright, I want to point out, this top part is the pointer, right? Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, what did I do? I switched it off. Thank you. Okay, so I have a question for all the marketing folks over here. Right? 20 years back, okay, there was a gentleman called David Ogilvy who made a statement, half of my advertising budget is wasted. The point is, I don't know which half. Right? Today, that is no longer true. And I want to share with you some marketing concepts to begin with, and then we move on to the finance concepts. So, this is the growth of the Indian advertising industry. Right? This is a report that a company called Dentsu releases every year. It comes out in February, and this is the world. Dentsu is the world's largest advertising agency and the largest digital marketing agency and one of the world's largest advertising agencies. Right? Now, I want you to look at this whole. Is there a pointer here? Which of this is a pointer? Okay. Alright, so here's the idea. This vertical box, I want you to look at this 2019 data over here. This is the growth of the Indian advertising industry. Alright, now you are joining a company which operates in an industry which operates in a general economy. Alright, if you understand what is the driver of that business, you as a professional can then contribute much better to that growth of that business. That's what this session is all about. Alright? Now let's look at how exactly a company grows. It grows through marketing, it grows through great products, and that's how you and I as professionals, we want to contribute to this growth, help the company grow and make a lot of money for ourselves. Right? Now look at this from 2016. I have a question for everybody. Okay? In the world of mobile, in 2016, in technology, in mobile, there were 4 major developments that took place in India, which dramatically changed the way India buys, India pays attention to, and how marketing happens. Can you guys tell me what are those 4 major developments that took place? Tell me, go on, yeah.
Digital India.
Big word. What specifically tell me what happened? What happened in digital India? Yeah.
Introduction of Geo.
Okay, Geo came in 2016. Excellent. What else? That's point number 1. On with that. Just raise your hands and talk. Tell me. Doesn't matter if it's not 100% clear. Yeah?
Demonetization.
Demonetization. Okay, November 2019. Demonetization. Yeah? Smartphones became a big thing. The first iPhone came in 2007. Right? The app ecosystem started off in 2008. right? And then after that, things have gone a little chaotic all across over the next 8-10 years. But what else? What else? Tell me, 2016. You're close to the answer. What technology in phones became popular in 2016? AI अभी आया यार, open AI to that, कुछ भी फेंको मत. Okay, this is what we are not going to do. All right? Class participation पे कोई marks नहीं है, ठीक है? I know I am also an MBA, you are also an MBA, ठीक है? So do not contribute, okay, unless you have the right answer to it. November 2020 is when OpenAI was launched यार. उससे पहले machine learning was what we called AI, तो अभी बात करना चालू किया. And DeepSeek came in what year? 2 weeks back or so. We'll talk about that also. But yeah, what else? Okay, you said Geo came in at that time. What else? Demonetization came in. Okay, what else? What else?
Social media.
Nice. Been around for a long time. Okay, digital payment.com. Which one? UPI. The UPI system getting started off around that time. Alright, and 4G as a technology came in. Alright, now, based on these 4 factors, okay, now what happened is, the market has completely changed as far as marketing is concerned. Okay? And it's important for you to understand because 20 years back, if you were a marketing graduate, you needed to understand TV, you needed to understand print, but today it's slightly different. So, you look at this whole thing, okay? If you are a marketer in the world, right? In the world, anywhere in the world, there are 6 different ways in which you can spend your money to do marketing. Alright? Pick up a pen and paper and just write down these 6 ways. And I'm going to ask you a question based on these 6 things. Alright? Now, if you are the, let's say, head of marketing of Hindustan Lever, those of you bina pen leke aa gaye, things are going to be, okay, you are going to look embarrassingly at each other or at me. Nikalo pen, nikalo, come on. As you must have realized by now, this session is not going to be merely me talking and you listening. It's going to be interactive, it's going to be participative. Alright, that's how we learn. Alright, chalo, dekho. So if you were the head of marketing at HUL or at ICICI Bank or at Citibank, there are 6 ways in which you can spend your money. Okay? Just make a note. I can do radio advertising. Make a note. First point, radio. Second, I can advertise in cinema. So those of you who saw ads, Captain America. How many of you have seen Captain America? Alright, good, good. Come over, Marvel के fans come over. Alright, good movie, worth watching. Not worth watching multiple times, but worth watching once. Yeah. I also saw it, come on. Okay. Alright, so क्या क्या लिखा? Radio, ठीक है, और cinema, fine. Third, or OOH, which is out of home. Fourth is print. Fifth is digital. And sixth is TV. Alright? So what have we written? TV, print, digital, radio, out of home and cinema. Okay? Now, if you are a marketer, these are the 6 ways in which you can spend money to do your company's advertising and branding. Okay? All of this is supposed to drive business growth. How much money did the Indian industry spend in 2016? 51,000 crores. This is that number, okay? This deck is already with ma'am. She will share it with you after the session, so no need to take photographs. I just wanted to understand the trend, okay? And once you understand the trend, okay, market में क्या हो रहा है? Once we understand that, we can then mold our careers to take advantage of the trend that is taking place. Alright? So, the first point is that this number, the total amount of money spent by the Indian advertising industry in the year 2016 was 51,000 crores. Steady growth till 2019, 68,000 crores. What lovely? COVID में थे, okay, 59,000 crores. ठीक है, हालत खराब हो गई सबकी. Fine, you guys are privileged to have gone through COVID and come out of it. Right? We've seen a lot more crises in that. 2008 was also an equally bad situation, but nothing in the world prepared us for COVID. And let's see what happened. 2021, this industry, the total marketing spends across all these 6 platforms was about 70,000 crores. Alright, now I have a question for everybody. Okay? Raise your hands and tell me, according to you, who are the number 1, number 2 and number 3 in this list of 6, okay, 6 things? Take a guess. It's okay if you don't know, just take a guess. Alright? Yeah?
TV.
Just tell me 1, 2, 3.
TV, print,
TV 1, print 2,
and
OS 3. Okay, TV 1, print 2, OS 3. Anybody else? Anybody else? Just raise hands and tell and talk to me.
First one digital,
First is digital
TV and print.
and print. TV, digital, print. No, digital, TV and print. Okay, that's what you're saying. Alright. और बताओ. और बताओ. Do not be under the impression that just because you are on Instagram all the time, which means all the expenses happen on Instagram. ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है? ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं. Yeah. Cinema, digital and TV. Alright. Let me show you what the data is. ठीक है? If I show you, this is the 2022 का report. ठीक है? This is the Dentsu report. Everybody be with me. Be with me. I know the font may be a little smaller, so I'll just tell you this. This is the Dentsu. E4M stands for Exchange for Media. These guys come out with a report every February of every year for the previous year. So this is 2022 का report. 2021 में the data was 42% of total spends of marketing were on TV. So TV was number 1, 30% digital was number 2, and print at 16,000 crores was about 24% of the market. Alright, this was 2021. Let me now take, and all the other things put together, out of home, radio and cinema is of some total of about 4.5% of spends. Okay, so while we see a lot of holdings and we see a lot of digital holdings nowadays, it's not really a big chunk of the market, but these three are the biggest chunk of the market. Okay? Alright, now I would like to show you what happened in the next 3 years. ठीक है? अपने को लगता है COVID was the disruptor. Not really. One of the biggest disruptions that is taking place in the world of business right now, and that's why I said, na, Ranveer Anabadia, Samar Raina, good guys, I also follow the channel, used to, okay, these are overreactions and all, right? We come out on all this, it's very easy to get distracted, but let's focus on the main thing. What is our idea? Our idea here is that, first of all, this industry has been on a steady upward, okay, jump over the last 7 years. So if you want to do marketing and if you want to be in India in business, it's a great line to be in. These are also, by the way, finance companies, banks, BFSI who are also advertising. And if you see yourself as marketing people over there in those industries, this is the information that you need to have. Alright? I'm not sure if you can make out the numbers, but tell me what happened to TV from 2021, 22 to 23. Just see the shares. TV was 42% of the market in 2021, moved on to 40% of the market in 2022, and in 23 has dropped to 32% of the market. आप शिफ्ट देखो कितना है, ठीक है? From 42% of the market to 40% of the market to 32% of the market in a flat period of 2 years. 2021 to 2023. Where are you going to watch the IPL this time? On TV or on mobiles? Right. Now since your attention is shifting to mobile, the marketing spends are also shifting to mobile. Which means that if I want to reach out to you, whether I am an ICICI, whether I am a Paytm, whether I am a Hindustan Lever, I need to know how to advertise to you on digital. Alright? Why? Because I want you to see what happened to digital. 30% of the market, 35% of the market, 44% of the market in just 2 years. Okay? And what happened in 2024? This data came out from Dentsu just now, about a week back. They release their report every February. So see what is happening. Television has dropped from 32% to 28% of the market from 2023 to 24. Alright? And digital has gone from 44% of the market to 49% of the market. 3 साल. Alright? Now let me ask you a question. Why did Nokia die? Tell me. Give a show of hands. Give a show of hands. Windows operating system. Okay, they had a weird operating system called the SIP. For how many of you have ever used a Nokia in your life? Alright, very few. Good. I have to ask this question always. Okay, आपको नहीं पूछेगा मैं. They didn't even bother to raise hands. I didn't even bother to ask them the question. right? So here's the point, ठीक है? हमने हमारा, how many of you use Blackberries in your life? Good. There was a time when हमने पूरी दुकान चलाई है हमारी BlackBerry पे. These phones disappeared. ठीक है? They disappeared from the market. How many of you have seen the movie BlackBerry on Netflix? आपण इथेच मार खातो. राला का वीडियो सबने देखा है, सबने देखा है. नोट करो जरा. One of the finest movies on Netflix right now is this movie called BlackBerry, ठीक है, which is on Netflix. It talks about why BlackBerry died, right? And I'll also check out branding movies called. Have you seen a movie called Air?
Yes.
Right? Talks about Jordan, Michael Jordan, and the Nike story. All right, have a look at that also. This is what we're really reorienting everybody to. Okay? Time pass एक चीज होता है, but this is the time of the year when you focus on your careers. All right. So why did Nokia die? One reason was that they had a weird operating system called Symbian. Android was coming in. They simply did not switch. Okay? What were the other reasons? Bolo. One second. Let me take an opinion from the students also. बताओ.
Outdated product.
Like what? What?
Which Steve Jobs had bought in iPhone, then Google bought in Android.
Absolutely. All right. So the smartphone, the touchscreen technology came in 2007. Nokia simply did not adapt. It took ages to come out with that touchscreen technology, and that's one of the reasons why the company simply collapsed. All right. Now, here's another example. Okay. So what is the point we are talking about? The point we are talking about is that the markets keep changing. All right. What do you and I do if we want to drive business growth in our companies? Is we keep track of these changes, and instead of fighting the market, you don't try to fight the market. What you do is look at the market and change yourself so that you can take advantage of the change that is taking place in the market. All right. So Nokia did a bad job of it. Blackberries did a lousy job of it. Kodak, the digital camera was invented in the R&D team at Kodak. Kodak's own sales team destroyed that technology. They didn't allow it to come out. Right? But let me take another example. Look at Sachin Bansal and Vinny Bansal from Flipkart. 2007, when they launched Flipkart, a lot of people said, India mein e-commerce nahi chalega. Why did they say that? Because they said India doesn't buy on cash, not on credit card. Indians do not have phones. They are not tech savvy. In 2007, the penetration was really low. It wasn't as much as it is today. They also said Indians like to haggle face to face. We want touch and feel. Hey, how exactly are you going to do all that? And Sachin Bansal and Vinny Bansal could have looked at the market and said, what can I do? Okay, Indians are not, not tech savvy, so we are too early for the market. But they didn't do that. They studied the market, and what did they do? They changed themselves. So they looked at India and said, okay, you want touch and feel? No problem. We'll do 15 days returns. They said, you don't want to pay on credit cards, you don't have debit cards, no problem. You want to pay cash? Doesn't matter. We will start cash on delivery. See what happened? They changed themselves. All right. Let me take a third example. Yeah, Maruti's market share, okay, 10 years back was 52%. Maruti's market share 2 years back had slipped to 10 percentage points and down to 41%. Okay, ये एक ऐसा industry है. You are going to be evaluated on market share, and this is one industry where even if 1 or 2% market share changes, na halla happens. Okay, all hell breaks loose. So a 10 percentage market share drop should have been enough to set off alarm bells in Maruti. Why did Maruti lose market share? Because the Indian car consumer was changing. So the Indian car consumer was moving from sedans to SUVs. He was moving from fuel economy to features in the car. And Cyrus Mistry का जो incident हुआ था, where he lost his life in an accident, and that was a Mercedes in which he lost his life sitting on the back seat without a seat belt. There was talk going on that we should have seat belt technology, seat belts compulsory in the rear seat also. You see, this India's #1 company kept resisting the change for a lot of times. But okay, what happened? And they kept resisting it. They kept saying, "This is our product. You want to buy, you buy. Otherwise, we are not this thing." Their marketing department was completely out of tune with what is actually happening in the market, and they continue to lose market share. 2 years back, something changed. Within a series of 2 years, Maruti has got its act together and has come out with 6 new SUVs. Do you know which ones? Tell me. Brezza, Excel 6. और बताओ. Fronx, Jimny, okay, Jimny, Invicto, and Baleno, Grand Vitara. Baleno पहले भी था, Grand Vitara. Alright? The market share has gone up from 41% to 44% in the last 2 years. Alright? So for all those of you who are looking at joining companies now in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year or so, let's explain what we are talking about. Okay? What we are talking about is that the markets keep changing, and if you are not in tune with the market, very quickly you become like a Nokia. Alright? So I'm going to share with you कि अगर तुमको एक marketing का बंदा बनना है ना, you better know digital marketing right now. Alright? How many of you can tell me what is a custom audience on Facebook? कैसे marketing करोगे यार तुम? Okay, because it's not about TV anymore. It's not about print about. Alright? What is required is therefore, okay, this skill that needs to get developed. Alright, everybody, okay? So this was our idea of explaining to you what does a successful business professional do. The successful business professional, whether he's on his own or whether he's a marketeer in finance or marketing in a company, anyway, what you're talking about is you have to understand what is going on in the market, and you change yourself and develop the right skill sets to be able to go ahead and take advantage of this. If you are an engineer, you better learn AI right now. If you are a telecom engineer, you better know what is 6G. Right? If you are a marketer, you better know what is digital marketing, because that's the skill set that 50% of the market needs. Alright, and if you don't know that, things are a little bit challenging, okay, for you. Alright? Okay, now let's go ahead. Okay? So now, okay, this is our main message number 1 from this entire piece. Right? Things are different now, and we need to pull ourselves up and be prepared for all of these things. Alright, any business that you join, okay, how many of you read the Economic Times every day? रणबीर अलाहाबादिया देख लिया ना, मजा आ गया उससे, वो तुमको प्लेसमेंट हो जाएगा क्या तुम्हारा, बताओ जरा. And I'm very sure all of you would have commented on it and liked it and shared it also. Alright, let's come to our second point. There are 6 different types of businesses that you are likely to join. Okay, and therefore the idea would be that I should understand each of these 6 businesses. Right? Many of these businesses are coming to campus, but here's what I want to talk. Okay, quick commerce is a unique phenomenon in India. Nowhere else in the world has quick commerce worked. So Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, are all giving a tough fight to the larger companies. Okay? However, today's Business Standard has an article that these new age startups are not doing all that great. It is the established companies that are actually fighting it. So HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank continue to be number 1 players in the market. Okay, yes, payment gateways, PhonePe is number 1, and GPay is number 2, but the others are giving phenomenal competition. In terms of electric scooters, the startups are no longer number 1, number 2. It is TVS who is number 1, it is Bajaj who is number 2, Ola, the less said the better, okay? I don't know, but for those of you who bought Ola shares or you bought Ola scooters, all the best. Okay. All right. Now the point here is whenever I am going into an industry, right, and whatever industry I want to be a part of, I should have an idea of what is happening in this industry. Okay. And once I have the knowledge of the business model, I can then position myself in saying this is the kind of role that I want to do. All right. So you may be applying for an Airtel. An Airtel may come to campus. An ICICI may come to campus. But ICICI will operate out of a lot of different roles. So there will be a HNI banking role, which is what is called a B2B or a B2B1 role. What is a B2B role? I am selling to an institution who's buying the loan for his entire company. So 500 salary accounts to be sold. That is what you do in B2B. But you may also be selling. You may be taking a 50 crore fixed deposit from Tata Motors. That will be wholesale banking. That is what many of your finance guys will do. right? So that is a B2B role that is there. How does it operate? Okay, there's a nuance in all of these things. You have a whole lot of these startups which may come to campus for hiring roles. A lot of these startups are in deep trouble right now financially. Mama Earth, Onasa Consumer has taken a huge hit on the market because of excess stocks that were dumped in the market, right? Distributors are not getting their return on investment on time, and therefore they are returning the stocks that has been dumped on them. This is again a finance problem and a clear misestimation of market demand. Alright, so the second message that we wanted to share with everybody was, when a company comes to campus, right, are you clear about what is the business model on which this company works, and therefore what is the skill set that you bring to the table that will enable you to take advantage of this business model and grow this business model, right? So if I am, let's say, if a Britannia is coming to campus, what is the challenge that Britannia faces? An HUL may be hiring you, okay? An ICICI may be hiring you. How is ICICI doing in the market compared to HDFC Bank? Okay? Of course, you have to explain your own biodata, but you also have to know all of these other things so that things get better, right? Okay, now we hear this statement all the time. Okay, I want to do marketing only, I don't want to do sales. Let me explain to you one marketing example and one finance example. I'm going to talk about HUL. I'm going to talk, this is the ITC brand structure, okay, the sales and marketing structure. And in the next slide, I'm going to talk about the Citibank brand structure. I'm assuming the marketing guys would want to get into FMCG and the channel line, okay, and B2B and B21. Okay, those are also the jobs available. So here's how it starts off with. You have a head of sales and marketing. You have a national sales head. You have a head of marketing. The marketing team has category managers with them. So there will be a category manager foods, category manager skincare, category manager hair care, and different categories like that. And within category managers, I have a brand or a product manager. Finance में उसको product manager बोलते हैं. Marketing in the world of FMCG we call it a brand manager. ठीक है? Same thing. IT companies call it a product manager. And there will be a guy who will be doing digital marketing. And then they will join as assistant brand managers. On the sales hierarchy, what do you have? You have a modern trade side and you have a general trade side. Within general trades, you've got zonal managers, branch managers, area managers, sales executives, distributors who handle distributor sales. Alright? Now, when I joined ITC from campus, what did I do the first 1 year? I'm from Bangalore. I was posted in Delhi branch. They gave me a cycle. They gave me 10,000 cigarettes in a large carton and said, these are the 40 outlets on which you have to go and sell cigarettes. They, in the induction program that happened at Virginia House in 37 Chaurangi Lane, the head office, the vice president sales made a big presentation. This is the hierarchy of the company. He presented this chart. Just there is a national sales head, there is a zonal manager, this thing. Our designation, because our designation was AUT, Assistant Under Training. So we were 12 of us who joined ITC from campus. We asked that question, sir, where do we fit in this hierarchy? So you know what he answered? He says, nowhere. He says, you are the dirt on my fingernails. Can you sell a cigarette right now? You can't. Then you are not qualified to do marketing, brand management. To bahut dur ki baat hai. So the first 3 months, you know what they do? They make us go into the market, Panwala to Panwala. And by the way, those of you who join L'Oreal, those of you who join banking, this is what you are supposed to be doing, right? This is what you do. And share with you, it's no different from what Citibank treats you or what ICICI Bank treats you, right? So what happens is, the first 3 months, I am going Panwala to Panwala selling cigarettes. 2 days later, I have sold about 10,000 rupees of cigarettes. Okay? The distributor says 10,400 is what you have to pay. I look at my cash balance, I find it is 10,000 rupees. From 3 retailers, I had collected less money. I don't even know which 3 retailers were there. 400 रुपए खुद के जेब से डालने पड़े, ठीक है? उस दिन प्राइसिंग सीख लिया, ठीक है? उसके बाद मिस्टेक नहीं किया, ठीक है? After that, because that is the best way to learn. When you have to pay for your own mistakes. 3 months later, they had given me a distributorship to handle. Then they transferred me to Jammu branch where I was handling Himachal and a part of Punjab. And my last posting was Nagpur branch where I was handling about half of Maharashtra. Alright? Based on this experience that I got from ITC in the first 1.5 years. Alright? Just 1.5 years. I am today doing consulting for some of the biggest FMCG and channel companies in India. This is the kind of grounding you get. Alright, now here's how your career path moves. How your career path moves is, you start off as a sales executive, okay, at an upcountry market. Mumbai is a metro. The upcountry market will be, let's say, Satara, Sangli, Karat, Kolhapur. Okay? One promotion later, you get moved to a Pune or a Mumbai. Another promotion later, you now become ASM upcountry. So now you are ASM rest of Gujarat. Right? Another promotion later, you are now coming in as regional manager West. And in between, you might go and do brand manager bingo. Okay? You spend 2 years as brand manager bingo, get promoted as category manager foods, come back again as zonal manager South. So Zindagi Bhar, over the next 25 years, what are you doing? You are alternating back and forth between sales, marketing, except in one company, P&G. In P&G, once you join the marketing team, you are part of the marketing team all your life. However, P&G only goes to tier 1 campuses, okay? Not even Blackie, not even many of the other top 15 and all, only the top 4 or 5 colleges is what they go to. Alright, so that's an option that's ruled out for you, but this is the idea. So now, okay, here's the idea. So now when you say, okay, is कि मेरे को sales नहीं करना, मेरे को सिर्फ marketing करना है, leave aside, this is a hierarchy in the top 20 companies in India. Okay? And the reason for that is because if I have 250 sales people over here, I will have barely 5 marketing people over here. The number of jobs itself is less. Right? So I will present to you a few minutes later what is the career path that you can aspire for. Okay? How you can aspire. I am not saying that तुमको marketing के jobs नहीं मिलेगी. The first point I want to emphasize is if you go in with this positioning ना कि मेरे को sales नहीं करना, मेरे को marketing करना है, तुमको digital marketing आज नहीं आता तो you know I want मतलब मेरे को IPL खेलना है यार, बैट पकड़ना नहीं आता. I want to play with Ronaldo. Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately I can't play football. So then that, you know, there is a mismatch between okay, what you are aspiring for and what your capability is right now. Right? Not saying it's not possible. Okay? All the greatest footballers on earth all came from poor backgrounds. Right? I mean, you know the background of Ronaldo, you know the background of Messi. I think you know all that. Right? So the idea is that at least let's make sure that we are building the competence in the right fashion. And there is a short-term strategy that you do and a long-term strategy. Alright, so let me now talk about how this would happen in the world of finance. In the world of marketing, your first job is always sales. The first 1 year you will always be in sales. Even tier 1, we also did the same thing. Right? Now let's look at how a Citibank structure looks like. So this is what we do in Citibank. Okay? So you would join, let's say, as a car loan salesperson, a two-wheeler loan, a credit card, a branch operation. Branch operation is you're going into the branch. The person who interacts with you is a personal banker of your profile. Okay? And then some of you may join on the wholesale banking side. There is a credit team and there is a sales team. Right? Now, what does the credit team do and what does the sales team do? So, if you join a car loan, Citibank car loan salesperson, your job is to develop relationships with all the automobile dealers in your city. So, if you are, let's say, sales executive car loans in Pune, your job will be to develop relationships with Sai Service, Kotari Hyundai, Sanjay Hyundai, okay, the Mahindra dealer, and Mahindra has a choice of giving the loan to you. It has a choice of giving the loan to HDFC Bank, it has a choice of giving the loan to Shriram Finance or Mahindra Finance. I assume you're seeing all those Mahindra car ads that are coming in. Yesterday the B6 got launched. Okay? So there is a bunch of people who are giving loans to people for buying that car. Okay? Now you are driving the business over there. So as a finance person, what are the options available to you? Well, the bulk of the jobs are in sales of financial products. आप मोतीलाल ओसवाल ज्वाइन करोगे आपको डीमैट अकाउंट बेचना है ठीक है बट once you pick up the now let's say a customer comes to you and says I want to sell you I want to take a car loan from you. Now you will say sir please give me your last 3 years this thing your salary certificate and your tax returns and I will see how much of a loan is possible that we can give to you. Now for 20 sales executives in a city of Pune, there will be 2 credit guys who will check the documents that you are giving and say इस customer का CTC 10 लाख है, इसको loan सिर्फ 6 लाख का मिलेगा. 6 लाख में he can only buy XYZ of a car because margin money will be 25%. 6 लाख customer को loan मिल सकता है तो 25% customer को जाना पड़ेगा. Maybe he is entitled to a punch at 9.5 lakhs. Alright, again, for those of you in finance, hardcore finance jobs will come to you in this credit side. Again, the number of jobs that you have is much less than the number of sales jobs. So many of you who are joining on the finance side also are again looking at a sales job also. Alright, now the question is, what does a company like ICICI, what does a company like Citibank do? So what happened in Citibank when I was there was that we sales guys, okay, or on this side, or MBAs, used to complain like crazy कि I am getting 20 applications from the market and the credit guys are rejecting all the applications saying इसका profile ठीक नहीं है, he is likely to be a risk and all. So what happened? They got sick and tired of our arguments. What they did was they took the sales guys, put us into credit for 1 year. They took CAs from credit and asked them to do sales for 1 year. The arguments ended. Okay, why? Because you had a perspective of each other, okay, each other's notes. All right. Again, back to the same situation that I explained in a FMCG marketing context, is even in the world of finance, you don't do credit only. Okay, what you do is go back and forth between all of these places. All right, the chief managers from SBI that I am training right now, they are people with 10 years to 14 years of experience. They have car loan targets. There is a central credit authority in Mumbai which looks at all the applications. But the bulk of the roles again are in the frontline sales teams. Alright, so okay, coming to see, so what we wanted to talk about, share with everybody was that once you understand these things, okay, and that's the idea. You do not design marketing strategies by sitting in an air-conditioned office and saying, oh, this is how I'm going to market the product. This is one of the biggest myths of marketing. Okay? Many of our friends who are in marketing, they spend almost 20 days a month traveling all across the country. What is the basic difference? Okay? What is the basic difference? Is if you are a brand manager Synthol working in Godrej Consumer Products, you are handling the brand Synthol across the country. But as an area sales manager Mumbai, you are handling Synthol, you are handling Renew, you are handling 20 other products of the entire company in a narrower geographical area. काम दोनों का same है, ठीक है? Both have to drive business, right? So the point is that as you move on and aspire to become a head of sales and marketing or the business head at an ICICI, remember that you must have both sales as well as credit experience. One is a finance role, the second is a sales role. Okay, both the skills are what? So basically we are general management professionals. This marketing finance is a nice specialization that we classify ourselves in a college, but very quickly it disappears. One of my main skills in ITC that I had to learn 3 months into the job was how to calculate distributor return on investment. Finance mein option mein dala tha. I had no other option because my distributor is telling me, sir, I can't work with ITC, I am quitting because you are not giving me enough returns. What is the return on investment? The guy is investing 1 crore in the business. If he put that 1 crore in an FD, he would make 6%, 7%. Now I am asking him to carry stocks for 2 months. He has given credit in the market. I am giving him credit, and at the same time he has a gross margin. He has expenses. उससे उसका net margin निकलता है. We took, after MBA, we took 3 months to learn this concept. Once we figured it out, okay, the sky was the limit. So a marketing guy needs to understand finance. A finance guy needs to understand sales. Okay, it's all going together. That's why we've titled this session a business growth session. All right. Okay. So everybody, okay, what are we talking about? So what are so again, one chart for finance. A bunch of all of you is if I wanted to get into a brand management role in a company, HUL will not give you a role from day one. Okay, that unfortunately will go only to the tier 1 college. What you can do is start off with, let's say, a sales in an Amul, move on to a marketing role in Amul, and then get into a marketing role in a tier 1 company. Again, उसके लिए digital marketing सीखना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? So why I asked you what was your definition of a custom audience is I can have a concept called a cold audience or a warm audience. What is a cold audience? An audience that does not know you. What's a warm audience? Somebody who's interacted with you. So right now, let's say some of you are a warm audience. Okay? For me, we've spoken with each other for about an hour now. So if I am, let's say, Flipkart, somebody who's visited my page earlier, okay, is a warm audience. Now, what I need to do is learn how to remarket to that fellow. Right? You would have noticed Pidilite has started advertising. If you search for FMCG ads on the thing, Pidilite has started advertising on social media. You click on the buy now button and it takes you to a Swiggy landing page where you can buy Pidilite, Fevicol and Fevistick and those kind of products. Right? So if you want to do marketing, what is the expertise that we expect you to do? Do you know the marketing strategy of this brand right now? Have you spoken to retailers about what the marketing strategy is? We are not going to ask you what is 4 P's of marketing. वो तुमको मालूम होना चाहिए. But then in a city like Mumbai with 120 colleges and 300 students in each of the colleges, I mean, believe me, मैं पत्थर मारूंगा तो 10-15 लोगों को तो लग ही जाएगा जिनको 4 P's of marketing क्या है ये मालूम. What we are going to ask you is, if I made you the assistant brand manager of Fevikwik, what are your recommendations for growing the brand? Alright? Paytm is in deep trouble right now. You try to buy Paytm stock, there's a warning that comes like 5 times and all. But this company is improving its profitability. It has exited segments of the market altogether. It does third-party distribution. It sells insurance. It sells car loans. It manages it has activities that happen on its payment gateway. If I made you a product manager, car loans at Paytm, how would you beat HDFC and ICICI? Okay, so that is the question on marketing strategy that you would be expected to answer. All right. So for those of you who want to move into this world of make yourselves a permanent and valuable resource, okay, what do you do? All right. I want to present to you one more chart, one more direction, and then we're open for questions. So one more thing that you can do is you start off in a sales system, right? Your first role in the college is to get a job. Okay, life can be hell if you don't get placed, right? So your first role is to get into a job. After that, what you do is Monday to Friday you continue in that job, Saturday and Sunday, and while you are a student, please take full advantage of this. Remove all these unnecessary distractions. इससे सिर्फ Zuckerberg को पैसा मिलता है और YouTube को पैसा मिलता है, right? Okay, there is no money that accrues to you and I by wasting time on any of this stuff. Now nobody is expecting you to be a saint. We also spend a lot of time on social media, but drawing the line somewhere and focusing on what is important is the point. Okay. Now what we talk about is we use the weekend to build the life that we want, not to escape from the life that we have. Alright? So use the weekend to develop digital marketing skills. Build your profile in digital marketing. Meaning what? Your uncles, members of your family might be in business. Go to them and say, I will handle your Facebook page for the next 60 days. Do lead gen campaigns for them. If you don't know how to do it, no issues. 3 years back, I was like so many of you, I had no clue about digital marketing. We have a bunch of online courses which we were marketing through agencies. Things weren't working out. We run a site like Coursera, and things weren't working out. I attended my first Facebook ads course in September 2021. In the next 3 months, I would have attended about 10 online courses, paying between 499 rupees to 999 rupees, 9,999 rupees for a series of 6 courses. 2022, we started doing digital marketing training for Tata Motors. Okay, and over the next 2 years, we've trained about 1,400 people in Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, and Asian Paints. Alright, I'm 55 years old. Okay, you guys are much younger, but what you have right now is a very, very superficial understanding of how social media operates. You're on the receiving side, right? Being on the sending side, being on the transmission side is a different ball game altogether. Right? So once you do that, what you can do is reach out to your family members. If your father is in business, handle Facebook ads for that guy. Create videos. You already know Canva. Okay? And Canva ka annual package costs 4,000 rupees. Buy it. Okay? And start creating content. And now you have a profile that you can then offer. Join a digital marketing agency. पैसा नहीं मिलेगा इधर हाँ. We are talking max 25-30,000 rupees per month. But what you are building in the first 2 to 3 years is a skill set, is a capability. Okay? And once you do that capability, now you join a company that does digital marketing for ICICI Bank and Paytm. And if you do a good job there, the Paytm Vice President Marketing will tell you, how much is this agency paying? You will tell them, sir, ज़्यादा नहीं मिल रहा. Why don't you join our bank? The head of marketing at Tata Motors, and I can name like 10 companies right now, all started off from agency route, all are tier 2, tier 3 college MBAs, okay, who had a difficult time in the first 3 to 4 years of their life, but they built their profile and therefore they made themselves capable. ठीक है, आमिर खान in the movie 3 Idiots said this, काबिलियत बढ़ाओ, कामयाबी अपने आप तुम्हारे कदम पे. Alright, that's the idea. Fine? Alright, so this is the second career path. What do we expect from you, so that we can hire you? We expect these 5 things. Knowledge of the industry. So if I were to ask you, let's say you want to join the car loan industry. Right? Where you're looking for, let's say, a role. You want to be a brand manager in ICICI. Okay, give me an example. Who are the main players in the car loan industry right now? What are their market share? If you're telling me you want to join the biscuit industry, tell me what is ITC's market share, what is Parle's market share, what is what is the market share of the top players. Okay? So that is knowledge of the industry. Knowledge of the company. Last 3 to 5 years, P&L, profits, annual return. Okay, there is an investor presentation on the website of most of these listed players. Okay, go through those investor presentations. Right? Knowledge of the categories. The biscuit category consists of bourbon, it consists of glucose, it consists of let's say Mari. What is happening individually between each of these segments? You want to be a brand manager for Myntra? There are different aspects to ladies fashion. You want to be a brand manager in Nykaa? There are different aspects in cosmetics. What are the different segments of the market? What is happening in each of the segments? All of this stuff is free online. India Infoline का reports होता है. Just do a search on cosmetics industry India 2024 PDF. Okay, and you will get the PDF reports. Right? Economic Times has a series of blogs that they send out every day. They have an ET retail, they have a ET BFSI, they have a ET startup. Where subscribe to those blogs. Now I'm still one of those guys who reads Business Standard, Mint, and Economic Times, the paper versions every day. Whenever you're ready, you can do that. The paper version we still prefer because it tells me the relative importance of each of the articles. Otherwise, one can get lost in the app. Right? So the app is good. Of course, when I travel to Delhi or for my work and all, that time of course we look at these apps. Fine? And then what we are talking about is relevant practical experience. What do we mean by relevant practical experience? You want to be a brand manager in Citibank? You want to be a brand manager in any finance company or marketing company? I expect you to have an opinion about what you would do if I made you the brand manager. Okay? Will you change a positioning? Will you change a product pricing? Will you change a distribution strategy? Okay? Instead, right now many D2C brands are available only on Swiggy and Myntra. If I made you a brand manager at Noise, a brand manager at Boat, you are already consuming these products. You buy all of these, you use these products, right? Tell me a better way to market these products. Both these companies are in deep trouble right now. उनका sales गिर रहा है. Wearables, the wearables market is collapsing in India right now. जिसको लेना था ले लिया. iPhone is in a bit of a trouble right now. They are not selling too much. Exports बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं, but India में iPhone is not catching on all that much. Right? So all of these things, basically what it means is that can you now come up with an opinion about how to actually do marketing of all of these things. Right? Your sales stint will help you do this, but relevant practical experience is what you can do by doing these extra projects. That is what we talk about. Alright? Okay, so on that note, and finally, the 6th question that we are going to ask you, once you know all of these things, so these 5 things are all in your hand. And once we do all of these things, what goes across is this question: why should we hire? Alright, I'll give you one example of one of our batchmates who decided that he's only going to join PNG. Now most of us were clear, marketing karna hai, finance karna hai, okay, I was a marketing guy. While I specialized in marketing and finance both, okay, marketing was what I really liked. Now what happened was, this guy said, I am only joining PNG, and PNG is only hires 2 people from 6 campuses every year. So they take only 12 people, and this guy said, I am competing with 200 people on campus. So what he did, you see the movie 3 Idiots? Yes. 3 Idiots is all I am Bangalore, ठीक है? उसमें एक वो चतुर का जो शॉट है ना, चतुर को वो गोली देता है कि अरे रास्ता क्रॉस कर, सिग्नल देखो, all that dialogue is in the IMB library. Now we didn't have, this was 1995, the internet came in a couple of years later. So this guy, okay, he went to the library, he used to pull out every book in the marketing section, and we're talking like thousands of books in the library over there. Okay, Journal of Marketing Research going up to 1920, wahan se, PNG is a 100-year-old company. This guy used to take out that book, go to the index page of the book, the last page, see the mention of PNG brands, okay, and read that relevant section. And this he did for 6 months. 6 months. Interview में shortlist हुआ. The guy who was interviewing him, he asked him a question, why should we hire him? This was the question. Why should we hire him? So this guy answers, Sir, I believe I can add value to the brand's function at PNG. So what is the next question that you'll ask? What value can you add to the brand's function at PNG? So this guy says, Sir, I believe we have not learned from our mistakes in Japan. We student है, interview दे रहा है, job मिला नहीं है अभी तक, ठीक है? बोलता है, we have not learned from our mistakes in Japan and we are repeating the same mistakes in India. Now the guy who was interviewing him was director brands Asia Pacific. ठीक है? ये ऐसे मतलब आराम से लेटा हुआ था, ऐसे खड़े होकर बोलता है, what mistakes have we made in Japan? ठीक है? तो बंदा बोलता है, sir, when Japan was at a per capita income of so and so, we priced tied at so and so. I believe the pricing was all wrong. We made the same mistake in Thailand. ठीक है? 4 years later when we did this. उसका इंटरव्यू 1 घंटा 45 मिनट चला. बाहर लोग खड़े हुए थे. I was the placement coordinator. I went inside and said, boss, क्या चल रहा है? This is what was happening. There is a student who is giving a recommendation of a brand marketing strategy to the director brands. This guy made it. He went all the way. He was one of the first people to get placed on campus. His name is Gautam Kiawat. Check him out on LinkedIn. He within a year was transferred to Singapore because he was found too big for India. From Singapore, he was handling brands across the world. Within 7 years, even PNG could not retain him. He's now an academician teaching in Singapore's National University of college over there, one of the best colleges over there. So if you want to do marketing now, this is the capability. Okay? There are others in the market who do all of these things, right? And therefore, you know, when everybody is on social media, you knowing Instagram or Canva doesn't matter much, right? That becomes a basic skill. Compared to people of our generation, if you know Canva, that's a great thing, okay? But not the rest of the crowd here, right? So that is the idea, all right? If you look at the typical process by which companies apply, here's the idea, okay? The first gateway that you have to cross is the shortlisting by a software tool. The ATS software, the automatic tracking software, is the first hurdle that you have to clear. And if you don't have relevant experience, okay, of this brand strategy and the keyword, and please don't use TEAL or AI or something to fudge your biodata. Those are meaningless things because we have an AI checker. Okay, before putting your this thing, and you know, there's a person on the other side who's probably 2 years out of campus who knows exactly what are the kind of games that many of you are playing. Right? So it has so the first level of clearance that is required is this shortlisting by a software tool, and that's the idea that you can have. All right. Okay. So on that note, we are. How do I get internships and all those things? Okay, I think this is the point we are talking about. We are desperately looking for good quality people. ठीक है, मार्केट में कोई शॉर्टेज नहीं है. एप्लीकेशन करने वाले बहुत हैं, बट क्वालिटी लोगों का जॉब्स बहुत है मार्केट में, right? But you have to be knowledgeable about my company. You have to be knowledgeable about my industry, my category, and there is a whole lot of things that you can do. Some of your colleagues in some of the other colleges that we have taught have literally followed the zonal manager on LinkedIn, reached out to him, he sent a biodata. वो biodata में 4 projects थे. The way I look at those things is that even before joining the company, if you are, before joining Parle, if you are knowledgeable so much about the biscuit industry, the trends in the biscuit industry, the strategies being followed by ITC and Parle and Cadbury's, boss, I want to meet you. All right, because the market has so few people like you. Okay, that's the idea. All right, so that's the idea. This is how we can do. And once you do all of these things, now you put it into your LinkedIn profile. Now you put it into your resume. What do you put? So, for example, if I take one foods company, okay, what we suggest you do is go to the market, talk to 50 retailers. Okay, I will do that. Sure. Last one. Okay. All right. So this is what we do. You select one of these categories and do a detailed study on this, and then come out with a recommendation. Once you come out with that recommendation, the ATS make sure you already got most of the relevant terms over there, and that's how you can go ahead and differentiate yourself. All right. Okay. I think with that we'll end. Yeah. So we have 2 things that I want to sing. We have some opportunities for internships for some of you coming up. So that we'll send data message to all of you. And there are a few courses that we have online. Okay, so check out our site and you can build your skills over there. If there are any questions, I can take those questions right now.
I think I think we have had a wonderful session, right? So can we give a round of applause to our speaker, please? I have requested Mr. Mahesh sir to open up some opportunities for internship, and for those of you who would be interested, we will be sending you the job description, and you people can send your resumes to the placement cell. This will be made available in the next maybe 2 or 3 days. As we speak, I think one more important thing that I would like to say about Mr. Mahesh sir is that if you get a chance to work under him, you will be preparing yourselves for a career. And I think I am extremely grateful to him for opening the doors and your eyes towards various options which are available to you all. All that you have to do is prepare yourselves and cash on them. So on this note, I think we would like to thank him very much for being here and sparing his valuable afternoon with all of us. So can we clap once again, please?